Fraser Doherty started his incredible business career at the age of just 14. After being taught how to make jam in his grandmother's kitchen in Scotland, Fraser analyzed the jam market in the UK and realized that sales were declining because the existing products were unhealthy and no new brands had appeared for a long time. He was determined to change that, so he started playing around with his grandmother's recipes, trying to eliminate adding sugar and avoid anything artificial, until he ended up developing a method of producing jam 100% from fruit and fruit juices. At 16, he tweaked his recipes and came up with a name for his product, Super Jam. Orders picked up faster than he could produce the jam made from fruit and fruit juices in his parents' kitchen, so Doherty started renting out a factory a few days each month. In early 2007, Waitrose, a high-end supermarket in the UK, approached Doherty hoping to sell his Super Jam products in their stores. Eager to respond to Waitrose's demands, Fraser started reaching out to factories as he could not produce the jam needed by a supermarket in his parents' kitchen. Convincing a factory proved to be a rather difficult task for a teen with no financial resources and no experience. He eventually found a jam factory willing to work with him and mass-produce the jams he developed in his kitchen. He also hired an ad agency to create a brand identity for his products. Within months, there were Super Jam jars on the shelves of 184 Waitrose stores, hoisting Doherty and his business to new heights. Doherty borrowed £5,000, about $9,000, from a bank to cover general expenses and more factory time to produce 3 flavors: blueberry and blackcurrant, rhubarb and ginger, and cranberry and raspberry. He has since added an orange and passion fruit flavor. Tesco followed, adding Doherty's products to 300 stores across the UK. Super Jam hit $1.2 million in sales, a 60% jump from 2007. Doherty's roster of retailers now includes Asda, Walmart in the UK, Morrisons and Tesco in Ireland. Doherty also launched a charitable project in 2008 called the Super Jam Tea Parties. Since the program's inception, Super Jam has hosted over 100 tea parties in Scotland, England, and Wales for elderly people who live alone or in nursing homes. Guests often cry at the end of the afternoon since they've had so much fun, says Doherty. The events, including live music, dancing, and drinks, have attracted as many as 500 guests. 5 years later, Doherty launched his products in Korea and Japan, selling £1 million worth of merchandise in an hour on a Korean shopping network. Super Jam has since grown into a company that has sold millions of jars through thousands of supermarkets around the world. As well as being a commercial success, the business has invested in successful charitable projects, running hundreds of free tea parties for the elderly and setting up hundreds of community beekeeping projects. Fraser has been commended by the Prime Minister at Downing Street by HRH Prince Charles and was recently awarded a medal, MBE, for business services by the Queen. He has shared his incredible story at more than 500 conferences in 27 countries around the world, as well as in his best-selling books, Super Business, published in the UK, US, Australia, Korea, and Japan. 48-Hour Startup, published in the UK, US, Netherlands, and Korea, and the Super Jam Cookbook. He's also the co-founder and CEO of Beer 52, the world's largest craft beer club, named by the FT as one of Europe's fastest-growing startup companies. With over 200,000 monthly subscribers and over than 100 employees, the company also produces the world's #1 craft beer magazine, Ferment, importing beer from a new country each month. They have visited breweries in South Africa, California, Korea, both North and South, and all over Europe. Having recently launched Wine 52, the company has surpassed £150 million in sales to date and delivered to more than 2 million customers. This year, Doherty says Super Jam will hit the shelves of Sainsbury, one of the largest food retailers in the UK. Based on a reasonable valuation, multiple of one-time revenue, jelly maker GM Smucker trades between 1.0 and 1.4 times sales. Doherty's 100% stake, now debt-free, is worth in the neighborhood of $1 million to $2 million, "I can't be preoccupied with the money," says Doherty. "I make jam because it's what I love to do. Success is pretty sweet too." Fraser has received numerous accolades for his work. Among other distinctions, in 2007, he was named Global Student Entrepreneur for the Year, the first ever winner from outside North America, and has been entrepreneur in residence at the London Metropolitan University since 2010, holding lectures on entrepreneurship. When advising other young people to start their own business, Fraser emphasized, "Go out and give things a shot. Don't be afraid to try things and see what you learn." On a practical level, the best help that I've had has been from mentors. Entrepreneurs should look to anyone that has run a business or a charity, someone who has been there and done it and can provide you with a great opportunity to learn. Doherty has also published 3 books so far. Think the jam is only for toast? Think again. In his first book, The Super Jam Cookbook, his jams are used for cakes, pastries, and other desserts. Doherty thought it was only fair to let us all in on how he made himself a millionaire. How sweet of him. So his second book, Super Business, is a guide on how to start a business based on his experiences with the Super Jam Company. Can you take an idea and make it into a business over a weekend? Turns out you can. In Doherty's third book, 48-Hour Startup, he challenges himself to see if he can start a business over a weekend, from idea to launch. And guess what? He succeeds. He launched the oatmeal brand, Awesome Oats, and showed us that if we put our mind to something, we can succeed too. Doherty saves us from making our own mistakes by letting us all in on the 101 of business, making this book a cheat sheet to easy success. Successful author and jam company, check. Next on the list is beer. Doherty became the co-founder of the company Beer 52. You tell them the kind of beer you like, and they hand-picked and deliver a mix of craft beer to your doorstep if you live in or are visiting the UK. Beer buddies loved this unique idea, and in no time at all, they were subscribing to a monthly subscription. Today, Beer 52 has over 100,000 subscribers, and it just keeps growing. What's a tea party without jam? Well, last year, Super Jam made its way to Downing Street, London, to meet with the then Prime Minister, David Cameron, for a tea party. After everyone tugged into some of Doherty's delicious jams, they discussed how Super Jam could cheer up the lives of the elderly and make them less lonely. Turns out that Doherty is quite the charity man. I am sure that Doherty's jam, with organized tea parties, the elderly will be chatting and giggling for hours. After all, what's a tea party without some jam to go on your scones? Fraser's journey embodies passion, innovation, and a commitment to making a difference in the world. From jam to beer, books, and beyond, Fraser Doherty's stories is an inspiration to entrepreneurs and dreamers everywhere.